A master narcissist H.G. Tudor says. The infidelity weapon. Infidelity is a given when you are ensnared by one of our kind. We know that it is not pleasant for you to think of us in the arms of another, conjoined in sexual congress as we do things with them that we have done with you and then we return to you. We know that infidelity is something that someone like you abhors. You have a strong moral compass, you behave in an honest and decent fashion and expect us to do the same. That will not happen. You place considerable belief in the question of trust and the concept of monogamy. Our infidelity will manifest in lots of different ways. Having sexual liaisons with third parties, some of whom will be strangers and others will be prospects who are looking to seduce. Sending and receiving text messages of a sexual content. Describing online what we want to do to someone and they to you. Sexual liaisons with your friends and family members. Although I know it is scant consolation to you since ultimately it is the breach of trust which causes you the greatest pain, we do not commit acts of infidelity because we want the sex. Admittedly, the physical sensation is enjoyable, but that is not the reason we are repeatedly unfaithful. In terms of our attitudes to sex and especially sex with you, read Sex and the Narcissist. For the purposes of this publication it is sufficient to explain that when are unfaithful the sex is not the primary purpose. It is the fact that in your world sex is equated with love, affection and attraction, and as a consequence it serves a purpose as a formidable weapon in our hands. We use it to seduce, to weaken additional fuel from third parties. We use it to seduce a new prospect who will provide us with fuel and will ultimately replace you. Initially we will be covert about our infidelity as we do not wish to damage having you as our primary source, and therefore our need to obtain fuel from secondary sources through infidelity will remain covered up. Over time we will continue to use sex with other people as a means of gaining additional fuel, but we will also be doing this to seduce your replacement. Eventually when we start our devaluation of you, we will be far less covert concerning our extramarital affairs, and often we will not care if you know or not. Indeed, we may even flaunt a mistress in front of you for the purposes of making you try harder and to provoke you so that you provide us with additional negative fuel. Infidelity is not about the sex. It is about fuel. It is about control. Being unfaithful to you abuses your trust. It pours scorn on the vows we have taken and makes a mockery of you and what you stand for. It is abusive behavior, and to expect a narcissist to always be faithful is like expecting the tide to stop advancing when you tell it do so. It just will not happen. Infidelity is second nature to us because the weapon that is sex is just too good not to use to gain additional fuel. If there was another device that was so potent we would use it instead. The fact that sex feels enjoyable is just a matter of nerve endings and a pleasant side effect. For us, sex is all about using it to further our aims, gathering fuel. We will be unfaithful to you at some point. That is a guarantee. When we are first seducing you, we will be in the process of devaluing someone else, leading to his or her discard. We most likely will have withdrawn sex from the victim who we are devaluing and be having sex with you as the new object of our seduction. This does not mean that since you are the apple of our eye we will be faithful to you. We will have intermittent sex with the person who is subjected to the devaluation, either as a means of giving them a short golden period again or for the purposes of extracting further fuel by subjecting them to humiliating sexual activities. We will also be courting other prospects also as well as you, and therefore there is a strong likelihood we will be betting that person also. We will, when seducing you, maintain an image of fidelity since that is what you expect. If you are conducting an affair with us, we will assure you that our current partner, whom we are devaluing, never has sex with us, we sleep in separate beds and so on. We will bemoan the fact they never have sex with us in order to draw sympathy from you as the new prospect. By contrast, we will triangulate you as the new prospect with our current partner. We will drop heavy hints that we are being unfaithful or even actively admit it in order to further the hurt. Our rationale behind this is that monogamy is for the little people and this does not include us. That would make us less special and we cannot have that. We are entitled to seek sex outside of a relationship because this is our inalienable right to enable us to obtain fuel. We feel no guilt in doing this. We do not respect any vows we may have given to remain faithful to you, and we have no qualms about coupling with someone else. The reason for this is that we have to do it, and in a perverse way, the only reflection on you is that you are not giving us the fuel we need. It is not a reaction to what you look like, what you do, who your friends are, or what your interests might happen to be. We will of course use them as a method of lashing out at you should you try and question us about our infidelity, because as I have explained in Manipulated, we will deploy blame shifting frequently when we are under attack. It is often the case that when a partner learns of the infidelity of their partner, that they will scrutinize their own conduct. Is it something I have done? This means that you will examine your own behavior and try to improve in some way because you will want to salvage our relationship. The fact of your addiction means you do not want to let us go. You will be mightily hurt and offended by our infidelity, but you will try to find some way of fixing it because that is what you like to do. If our infidelity shows any risk of causing you to depart, we will hastily reinstate the golden period, as a preventative hover, if you will, to stop you departing from us. Most of the time, however, because of the way you are, you blame yourselves, often because we warp your way of thinking to do this, and you try to patch things over. Your need to resolve matters results in you clinging to us notwithstanding our fidelity. Indeed, in some instances you want to prove that you are better than the person we committed our infidelity with. You want to fight to retain us and ensure that our relationship triumphs. We will also use infidelity as a means by which to control you and make you do what we want. If you gave me more attention, I would not go elsewhere. If you put out more often, I would not have to get it from someone else. Perhaps if you hadn't let yourself slide, I wouldn't stray, would I? If you thought more about me rather than yourself, perhaps it would not have happened. I won't leave you, I should, but I will stay, but some things are going to have to change. You are the victim. We have committed the transgression, but other than when we fear you might leave us and sever our supply of fuel, we will not apologize but pin the blame on you. You will have been subjected to a succession of manipulation wiles in order to browbeat you and lower your resistance, so that when we unveil our infidelity we use it as a method of getting what we want from you, namely more fuel and more control. Infidelity is bad enough in the context of a normal relationship. With our kind it will always happen. It will always happen with many people and will do so repeatedly. It is a further black flag of abusive behavior.